has this, they're 10 feet apart, so there's 4 rows with 3 alleys. What we tried putting cover crop in the alleys, nothing took. Put out buckwheat, 0, no germination. So we ran chicken tractors in the alleys between the trees. And the first year we went through, the buckwheat sprouted right behind it. The seed was there, it just hadn't found the conditions. And ever since, it's just gotten better and better. I mean, it may not look like an impressive sward, but there's so much more soil carbon and so much more growth out of it than when we started that I can, brag on what we do.
They are great together.
It's been completely transformative. I mean, I went from thinking about business and the world in a certain way, and kind of overnight, it's just the permaculture goggles get on you. And, a lot of us don't necessarily get to implement that, but for some reason, it very quickly came to me how I could make a difference in the permaculture world. So I immediately built a business on it, and I'm happy to say it's taking off really fast.
Wow. It's been a lot, honestly. It really has infiltrated every part of my life. I not only design landscapes, but I design my lifestyle around the permaculture principles and ethics. Permaculture has really influenced my life in a huge way, and I really am grateful to have found it and utilize the design principles throughout my life.
Permaculture has really given me the network and the language and the inspiration for launching my professional life. I knew that I wanted the values and ethics and things that I learned in my permaculture design course to be how I made my living. You know, I wanted to live and breathe this every day and be outside. And so I think it really kind of just set the trajectory for me.
The Permaculture Crossing, or PCX, is a social media site that is brought to you toll and troll free by the Permaculture Institute of North America, or PINA, and the Association for Regenerative Culture, or ARC. The PCX exists to bolster and support the permaculture movement from across the world by providing cutting-edge continuing education, dedicated private and public spaces for working groups and student cohorts, and a networking hub. How can the PCX help permaculture design course teachers and professional permaculturists? We offer free student cohort spaces that allow you to disconnect from Facebook as your central hub, bringing your students into a private cohort space nested within a larger network of permaculture practitioners, enhancing your students' experience. We can host and promote online courses as well, whether you host a portion of your PDC or advanced trainings, or have a skills-based online course for sale, the PCX can help you host your materials, trainings, and courses. Consider the PCX a marketplace as well to promote your materials from within. How can the PCX help the permaculture student, enthusiast, and practitioner? Whether you are working alone or at the hyper-local scale, or simply want to stay connected to the latest permaculture interviews and events, we dedicate this site to you. Join a regenerative discussion zone, keep up to date on new courses, interviews, convergences, and events, join a working group, participate in free events like town halls and summits, or have a private space for your local group to share resources. Whatever needs you have, we have you covered. Let's take a quick tour of the site. First, we have the home PCX, the primary feed to share information, articles, updates, and ask questions. Consider perusing the ever-burgeoning permaculture resources section for all your teaching and slideshow needs. Join a local hub or bioregional group, or start and host your own and help connect to regional permaculture events, people, and topics. Search regenerative discussion zones to find topics that you're interested in and join them, or suggest something new. Consider adding a new course to the courses marketplace, or buy one of the pre-existing courses to advance your education. Invite your students to a cohort or working group space, and come to the PCX to support your permaculture networking and working groups. Consider joining our disaster resiliency work groups and/or attend regular town hall discussions on the topic of disaster and permaculture design. Click here to see more about PINA and become a supporting member. PINA is the world's premier organization supporting professional permaculture, and it's supporting efforts like diplomas, standardized curriculums, vetting teacher quality, and affecting national and regional policy and permaculture education. And click here to learn more about ARC and their broader efforts to weave together the permaculture adjacent movement, from asset-based community development to regenerative farming and beyond. Join for free today at community.pcx.earth, or if you are already a member, come on back and check out the progress. Remember, this is your community, and together PINA and ARC are here to help build upon your suggestions, requests, and inspirations. Instead of faceless corporations, what if all permaculturists across the North American continent and beyond joined forces here and withdrew our attention from the things that are not supporting us, our communities, and our ethics? What if we were all networked together? Imagine what we could do, learn, and build.
Have fun. If you're not doing what you love, stop doing it. And so what we do is water cycle restoration, where we're really reversing this process of the watershed death spiral, and we're resolving flood, drought, and fire through partnering with nature.
Just thinking about the mountain range ecology of a city. What does that look like? How do we reskin the roofs? How do we use them like mountaintops? What's the culture of each building? How can it contribute, and how can we network those?
We're already over 2 million people that this course is directly impacting because of who we're working with.
Can you consider being part of the solution? Can you consider being part of rebuilding this food system to where it truly is a permanent fixture in America that feeds us well and doesn't poison the soil and doesn't poison our bodies?
And so people ask me, why do you do this? I'm like, because it makes me happy.
PINA means Permaculture Institute of North America. We are a trade organization or a business league. We want people to appreciate permaculture because of all the things it can actually do to solve social and environmental problems. Primarily, we want this work to get done. We want to redesign urban neighborhoods and farm-to-table systems, and we want to prevent wildfire in the western states and wherever else forests are burning down. And we want to empower kids in the city who don't have much to take a new look at their neighborhoods and their communities and be inspired about how they could change it, start a business, put in a park on the corner, go to City Hall and argue for something they need. We want to empower everybody. Everybody has these needs, right? We being those of us in PINA, our board, our staff, people, our membership, people who are committed to this vision, that we could help that come about by organizing permaculturists and other people into active forms for advancing these ideas into projects and programs and movements. This approach where we democratize learning and empowerment is a way that we can accelerate change. PINA was an early leader in permaculture in North America, and there was an earlier iteration of PINA based in Seattle, Washington. And it put a second international permaculture gathering, convergence and conference in British Columbia, Washington, and Oregon in 1986. And it was a big event, the second ever. It brought people from all over the continent and from all over the world. It brought together Bill Mollison, Masanobu Fukuoka, and Wes Jackson, who famously did the see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil gesture with each other to promote peace. Well, anyway, that was the earlier PINA. It folded its doors, and I'm a bridge to that organization, as are some of our members and some of our board, because I took over publishing the newsletter of that PINA, which was called Permaculture Activist. PINA is a leader, and it's now got this legacy, because I told you we were at this 50 years and almost that long in North America. Some of our PINA members today got into permaculture more than 40 years ago. What happens in 10 years when some of us are pushing up daisies? What is it that we know that needs to pass to your generation and the next generation? How does PINA gather up that knowledge and ensure it's preserved, conserved, transmitted? That's another aspect of what we're doing. Succession and conservation of an important legacy, because this has been off the radar for a long time, but it's done some remarkably innovative and creative work. Collectively, that's a huge body of knowledge. There are libraries, there are bodies of students and networks of communities that our people have created. We want to preserve them. If we had 1,000 people across North America who knew permaculture, you wouldn't notice them. They'd be like nothing. But now we know there's at least 50,000 of us in North America who've been trained in permaculture. That's a small city. 50,000 is a city. And our permaculture city, albeit spread thin, has the potential to rise up like trees above that weedy lot, provide a canopy for the birds and the animals, and a gathering place for the people and, stand strong in wisdom for a very long time. And we're trying to achieve that vision. That's a metaphor, but that's what we're trying to do with people and with an organization, trying to transform a network, a loose network, into a more muscular and capacious organization that can put people on the ground to accomplish things. We are wanting to lift the game of permaculture, and we want everybody to rise together with that. We want you to notice that permaculture is advancing in North America because of PINA. Not alone, but we're trying to take it to the next level where now we can cooperate across regions, within regions, on projects, and really make a difference. Really take some of these billions of dollars that Washington is appropriating for forest rehabilitation or land changes or better farming or equity or all of that, and put it to work. We think that our ability to solve problems and our practice in solving problems is something not only can we teach others to do, we can demonstrate how powerful it is, and we can make change happen that way. So we think that needs support. We also want to manifest this third ethic in permaculture, which is one is care of earth, one is care of people, and the third is fair share of surplus. We want to make sure that the wealth of the society in all forms is available and accessible to everyone, genuinely. And some of that comes from the understanding of how to garner resources and put them to use, which is what permaculture teaches everyone. We've funded a community garden in British Columbia. We've funded hempcrete building in Alberta. We've funded street-side gardens in Orlando, Florida, a teaching garden in Guatemala, films for introducing permaculture in Guatemalan native language, Cachiquel, and in Guatemalan Sign Language. We funded a pond in Oregon that rehydrated an entire watershed, forested watershed. Made a film about it. That film's been seen by 300,000 people. Those are just small grant projects.
Yep.
And we'll do more of those. We'll keep doing that. Why? We want to cultivate talent. We think that people with permaculture talent should be rewarded because it's so relatively rare and yet easily achieved. It takes time and experience, but there's some people doing wonderful, wonderful work. We don't even know all their names. We want to call them out. We want to put them up and say, shine the light on these people. Their ideas are brilliant. They're gonna be the revolution in design that's gonna save the planet. So we want to support permaculture designers. We uphold education to make them more professional. And once you've mastered something, you can innovate easily. You can see and move things forward. These are tremendous abilities. We want many more permaculture professionals. Not everybody has to be one. You can do it only in your backyard. You can do it at home. You can do it in your churchyard. You can do it any kind of place. But we need some people who can go and do projects on a big scale. What if we wanted to replant windbreaks and tree belts across the Southwest to keep the desert from advancing? I think we've got some ideas that deserve to be heard. Mollison in '96 at the Convergence in Perth said, permaculture is the largest aid organization on the planet. We just don't know it. And we're trying to get people to know it, ourselves first and the rest of the world after that.
It's nice that PINA is there to speak up and help network the permaculture movement. It's only capturing a fraction of the movement, though, that are officially involved and are signed up and becoming and are members. So, boy, if PINA could get all the permacultures, or half of them, or a fourth of them, to all sign up and become, really like working together, PINA could just really do so much more. So, but it's nice to see that PINA is actually on the move at this point. So go for it.
Just every one of my 2,000 students, and all the students that have been through the course, wherever they are in the world, have in some way made a profound impact. And we could do much more if we could link them up and support them strategically. So that's why I'm asking for support for PINA.